Aaron says, what I meant was a lack of career focus. I'm applying to several different types of jobs, not knowing what we're doing. Listen, Aaron, I sympathize entirely. I empathize with that because, you're just a capable person. You can do more than one thing, That's a sign of being, pretty damn valuable and talented and employable. Whatever they throw at you, you probably can deal with. You don't just have one skill. You have like a broad skill set, right? I was watching a YouTube video earlier today, and it was like some guy building a dam. He's building a concrete dam across a river. And I was thinking like, man, I've done some concrete work in my time, just not as my job or anything, but just for fun. Like, I've done construction projects and things for fun. And it's like, I remember thinking like, man, I should do another one. It's so fun doing that stuff, And it's like, I always get that. I think like, man, I should do more concrete work. Or I saw another thing, somebody's building a little amplifier with electronics. I was like, man, I can do that. Why don't I do more of that? It's like, you can do more than one thing. You're a talented person. So depending on what people are looking for, you can speak to it, right? You have more than one skill. Now, the problem is that in the post-to-job market, when you're talking to a recruiter, and this is like a typical archetype recruiter, what they're looking for is someone who's lived their entire life just to do that job, right? They're not looking for generalists. They're looking for someone that's specialized in doing that thing. And they aspire to do that thing, and that's all their aspirations, right? And unfortunately, it means that generalists like you and me and many other talented people, you don't quite fit with that because you can do many things, and you have done many things, So you have to sort of create this idealized version of yourself in your application and in your interviews where it's almost like you try and reframe who you are to show that you live to do this one thing, right? It can be hard. Now, what I recommend is always usually the same thing. You will probably do better talking to a hiring manager than you will to a recruiter, okay? Most people do, actually. Most people would love to talk to a hiring manager and not a recruiter because hiring managers, they care more about like who you are, they care about what your ideas are about the role, technicalities of it. If you do an informational interview with a hiring manager and you ask them all these questions about this particular thing, I don't know if you mentioned a specific thing here. No, you just say several different types of jobs. But let's say it's one of those types of jobs, and you're asking them about that industry, you're asking them about their situation, how they do things. You could speak to it. And just by the questions you would ask and the things you would say, they'd be able to tell that you know your stuff and you can handle that job. You know what I mean? The fact that you can do 50 other things doesn't enter into it, right? They care about, wow, you seem like you could do this. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders. You seem all the other things. All you got to do is show all the other things. You're professional. You're articulate. You're obviously interested or you wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? So if you don't have a lot of focus, that can be a good thing because that means that you have so many options around you. You could do so many different things for so many different employers, but you have a ton of options. And where you would be able to exploit that is by doing direct outreach. Okay. Just for everybody else listening, I don't know if you're interested in this, Aaron, but certainly for everybody else, if this is kind of striking a chord with you, this is like a bit of who you are. Check out that video I did called How Successful People Get Jobs. It's linked in the description. That shows you how to do what I'm suggesting, where you can get in front of a ton of hiring managers and you could just have conversations about, their needs and their roles. And if you can speak to a lot of different things, that can really open up a lot of doors. So, but it's an entirely different thing than applying for a lot of jobs because the jobs you apply for, A, they're posted publicly, B, you're going through a recruiter who doesn't think this way, C, they're looking for more of a specialist rather than a generalist. right? And in speaking to hiring managers, you can actually find out more about kind of what they're sort of looking for. It's maybe not pinned down precisely yet. I mean, I've done that where I've brought sort of what I can do to a lot of jobs, and that's the best way to get hired, because you come into the role and you make the role your own, right? You have a lot of skills, and you choose. You don't just step into a role that's entirely pre-decided. You step into a role where you have to decide how you're going to do it. So you bring in a lot of your own skills for that. Anyway, I don't know if that rambling trip to nowhere really helped you, but if nothing else, check out that video I have linked in the description box of this live stream, right below. And if you want to go deeper, and this is kind of what you're interested in learning, if you don't know any of this stuff, but you want to learn it all and how to do it, check out that course. That's where I put all that stuff. Okay, it's linked in the description box below.